What's up, you guys? It's Chastity Andrea, and I'm back with another video. So, I got my scarf and I got my space buns, and I was trying to think, okay, when I'm gonna record this video, and the time just went by. So, this video is about me quitting being a real estate agent or a realtor. I quit. I'm done with it. I feel like psychologically, even though I don't feel bad about it, it's something that I had to come to terms with and not feel guilty about, because I still feel like I gave up or I quit or I failed. So I feel like I want to start with some background information. Number one, I never even wanted to be a real estate agent, barely even liked the real estate agent industry, because there's so many real estate agents who have this holier than thou complex, and they think anything that doesn't align with being a real estate agent is against the law. That really annoyed me, especially coming from the investor side and doing wholesaling. It just turned me off from real estate agents. But despite that, I got my real estate license in 2021 because a investor that I was cool with or whatever, he was like, you should get your real estate license. Well, no, let's back it up. So that's what made me get my real estate license, I think in Tennessee. Was it in Tennessee? I think. I can't remember what made me get my real estate license in the first place. It was just also, it was more like people encouraging me to do it, and I can see why they would encourage me to do it, but only you know yourself. Only you know yourself. And then the reason why I went into it as well was because I wanted to do commercial real estate. I didn't want to do residential. So I tried to get into this commercial real estate program. Like, I applied for it and I didn't get in. And so I think I just kind of went the residential route just to get in it. But looking back, now that I think about it, I shouldn't have did that either. Now that I'm talking out loud and thinking about it, I don't know why I even went the residential route in the first place. Now, I have made money using my real estate licenses. I have a license in Tennessee, Mississippi, and Georgia. And I have made money in all three states using my license. So I want to be clear about that. So it wasn't a complete loss, but you do lose time. Time is priceless, and it's the most valuable thing, because once it's gone, every little tiny second that passes by is never coming back ever again, like ever. So I do feel like I spent time on a path that wasn't for me. And I'm not trying to bash the industry for people who love it and people who are successful in it. And that's another thing. I made a post in this Facebook group that I'm in, basically saying the same thing, saying I don't ever, want to be a real estate agent again. It's not my thing, and X, Y, and Z. And the first thing that people in the comments say, well, what were your sales? Did you make a lot of sales? Oh, I wonder why. Is it basically saying the reason why I don't like it is because I'm not a good agent? Do we really want to go there? I have sold so many houses without having a real estate license. It's ridiculous, because I wholesale real estate. You don't need a license, give or take like a couple states. You don't need a license to sell a house. Let's be clear about that. So I probably sold more houses than a lot of real estate agents. Thank you very much. And made more than them doing it. And I never had to leave my house. So clock that and take that to the bank and cash that. I don't really care about that. The other thing I don't care about is if I was a good real estate agent or not. I feel like I was a good real estate agent, but I don't care if I was or wasn't because I don't want to do it. When you don't care about doing something, or you come to terms with that this is not for you, you don't care about being the best, you don't care about somebody said, I made a post on Threads saying the same thing about how I don't want to be a realtor again, and somebody on Threads was like, well, why not? And I was like, it's saturated, it's this and that, and they were like, well, yes, it's saturated, but how do you stand out? I don't care about standing out. I don't care. I don't want to stand out. I don't want to be in that crowd. There's no need to stand out in a crowd that you don't want to be a part of. I do not care. So let's be clear about that. And that's not to degrade any past clients that I've worked with. I actually, enjoyed working with most of the clients that I worked with, especially on the listing side. My last couple of clients, it was fine. But in general, when you are in a place where this is just not for you, I don't need to stand out. How about that? Let's wrap that up. I know the difference between being a real estate investor and being a real estate agent. Sometimes they morph into one, and people who have a real estate license are also investors, and people who are investors also have a license. I get that. But when you are strictly a real estate salesperson and you are not an investor, you've never attempted, you never bought or sold anything of that nature, you've never been in the trenches of having the responsibility of owning property and things that come with it, you, for investment purposes, not even with primary residences, it has a lot that comes with it, but for investment purposes, you cannot say you are in real estate. If you are an appraiser, you can't say you are in real estate. If you are a salesperson, you can't say you're in real estate like that. Like, you can't, it's not the same. You're a salesperson. And I know people hold that license like a badge of honor. It's really just a way for the state to make money, to charge you to get a license and do this and that and the third, because you take all these classes and have these hours, and you do what's it called? I'm going blank right now, but basically it's like code of ethics, and code of ethics. Y'all have us take these code of ethics classes, and it's so many unethical people. It's so many unethical people who have a real estate license. It's ridiculous. So I'm almost like, cut the crap. Cut the crap. The other thing, the real estate agents that bash wholesalers, saying that they are taking advantage of sellers, saying that they're stealing sellers' equity, saying that they're illegally practicing real estate. Number one, you're not an attorney. You're not an attorney. So who are you to say what's illegal? You're not an attorney. You're not a somebody who has authority in the world of law, in the legal system. You're not a judge. You're not an attorney. Until they say legally it's illegal, it's not illegal. What is wrong with you? Stop saying that. And it's not illegal. You're just mad because you feel like they're eating at your money. The part about real estate agents saying that wholesalers are stealing sellers' equity, so are you. If a wholesaler is stealing a seller's equity, so are you. So are you. Because guess what? You're not working for free. You're getting paid commission, which is coming out of their gross proceeds. If they didn't have to pay you, they would make more money. And guess what? The seller is paying you. Until this NAR lawsuit just passed, y'all were telling buyers that they didn't have to pay you and that the seller would pay you. Now you got to have a written agreement with your buyer saying they have to know that they're on the hook for paying you if the seller doesn't pay you. because y'all were going out and making it seem like the buyers didn't have to pay you. So who's really out here moving shiesty? Clock that. Now, back to my point. When wholesalers get paid, it's the buyer that's paying them because they've negotiated their fee in the price that the buyer is paying. So the seller isn't paying them. You know, those, they call them settlement statements as a real estate agents, or closing disclosures, whatever. And wholesaling and investing, they call them HUDs. So on the HUD, pay attention to where your side of the money comes from. Does it come from the seller side as a debit? Or does it come from the buyer side as a debit? When a wholesaler gets paid, it's coming from the buyer side of the debit. Okay. Let's be clear. So who's stealing equity from who? Oh, that's what I thought. I'm done with it. I don't want to be a real estate agent anymore. I'm debating on what to do. I'm debating on what to do with my Tennessee and Mississippi licenses. Do I want to stay inactive? Because right now I'm inactive in Tennessee and Mississippi. Technically, I'm active in Georgia because, newsflash, I went and got a job. Because that 7 months that I spent with the last broker I was with, I didn't make anything other than once. And that was from my lead. So it was because of me and my systems and processes that I made money. I didn't make any money with their systems and processes, if we keeping it a bean. So I'm done with that. But that time went by and it hurt. So I need to make up for that time that went by. And I've never had a salary job. I've never had a job, period, as an adult. And this is new for me. It's a whirlwind for me. It's a psychological adjustment, to say the least. I say all that to say, for me, it wasn't worth it. For me. I'm not saying that, for other people, it's not worth it. But if you are more the investor type, if you're more the type, you like, I want to develop and build homes. And I think the path that I took maybe wasn't the right path for me to get to where I want to be. So it created a setback because I wasn't where I was supposed to be. Just imagine if you want to be a nurse and you're in school to be an engineer. It's like, you could do well or you could not, if it's just not in your heart to do it. Or you could be in school to be a nurse and you really want to be a brain surgeon. It's kind of like you're almost there. You're a little bit not where should be to end up where you want to be. Need to pivot a little bit. It's kind of like that, if that makes sense. And I know, like I said, it seems like I was naming all these negative things about being a real estate agent. But for me, the cons outweighed the pros. You know how you make your pros and cons list? The cons outweighed the pros for me. It's just not worth it. As I've been saying these last couple of months, the juice ain't worth the squeeze. The juice was not worth the squeeze. It's just a moment for me to rebuild and start over. But it's been hard for me to leave entrepreneurship for a moment and get a job, something I've never done. I could see if I started out with a job, became an entrepreneur, and then went back to having a job. But to start out your young adulthood as an entrepreneur, and then at the end of your 20s, literally the end, like I turned 30 2 months ago. And I started my job 2 months ago. So to in your 20s, getting a job is like, it's like a mind fuck almost. It's like, whoa, whoa, culture shock, whoa, jump scare. If you're thinking about getting your real estate license, go ahead. I'm not here to stop you. I'm not here to encourage you nor stop you. This ain't that. I'm just here to have a transparent moment. I have these thoughts and these plans for myself that I'm not ready to talk about out loud, but some of it I'm already acting on and it's kind of showing. But I have another idea that I got from a video that I watched, and I feel like I'm going to take that leap of faith and see what happens. I don't really have anything to lose with this particular idea that's in place. I just have to start visualizing and executing it and just seeing where it goes. I feel like this is a good enough video. I think I covered most of the bases as to why I quit. I technically was fired. So with being a real estate agent, if you leave your broker, you're quitting. If you're asking to be released, you're quitting. So my first brokerage, they fired me because they were like jealous and they were weird and they were haters and shysty, and I'm not even gonna keep going because at this point it's not even gonna be funny. So hater fired me, thank God. The second one, I asked to be released, so I guess I quit. Nothing bad to say about them whatsoever. It just goes to show that I'm just not cut out for this. Third broker fired me because they basically felt like I didn't need them. They felt like I didn't need them and I just wasn't, their model wasn't working for me. And I just felt like, thank God. I'm like, I wanted to quit and they fired me before I had the balls to quit. So it was just like, you know, if you're in a relationship and you want to break up with them, but you don't want to hurt their feelings, and then they break up with you and you're like, oh, thank God. Like, thank God. So they called me and basically fired me over the phone, and it was like, effective immediately, we're releasing your license. And then, you know, whatever the case was. And then they were like, do you have any questions? And I said, nope. I sure don't have any questions. Yickety. Don't care. Thank God. Thank God. I remember Oprah said one time, if somebody fires you, you should thank them. You should. So thank y'all and thank God, because I did feel like a weight was lifted off of my shoulders. I really do. Because it was not working for me. It was like, it got to the point where I was like dreading. Everything was dreadful. So I do feel like God pulled me out of the situation that I was in, because even with just all around, I was unhappy with everything I was doing. Like every day I woke up, I was unhappy with what I was doing. So everything happens for a reason. It came to an end. Whoop-de-doo. It came to an end. And I'm happy about it. That concludes this chit chat. Oh. They do call me Chat as my nickname. That's very catchy. Thanks for listening to my chit chat about why I quit being a real estate agent. And I'm not going back again. So like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on social media at Chastity_Andrea on Instagram, at it's Chastity_Andrea 8 on TikTok. Love ya.